Hello, welcome to the Submarine Force Museum. I'm Commander Brad Boyd, Director of the museum and Officer in Charge of the Historic Ship Nautilus. Today we're going to be talking about the USS George Washington, SSBN 598. Now, she was the first of her class, the George Washington class, and the first fleet ballistic missile submarine. She was 381 feet long, approximately 33 feet in diameter, 33-foot beam. She displaced about 6,800 tons submerged, could go at least 25 knots and down to 700 feet. And had 16 tubes of Polaris missiles, as well as 6 21-inch torpedo tubes for defensive purposes. She was named in honor of the Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army and the first President of the United States, George Washington, and was commissioned here in Groton, Connecticut on December 30th, 1959 at the Electric Boat. Originally, she was actually supposed to be the USS Scorpion, SSN 598, but when the Fleet Ballistic Missile Program and the Polaris missile had gotten to the point that they're ready for submarine trials, they decided to make the Scorpion the George Washington, and they cut Scorpion in half, put the ballistic missile compartment in, welded everything back together, and then renamed her George Washington SSBN 598 and recycled the name for Scorpion to a hull number later down the line. On June 28, 1960, George Washington steamed to Cape Canaveral, loaded out 2 Polaris missiles, and 1 month later, on July 20th, she commenced test firing of those missiles. And after the first successful firing, the commanding officer, Commander James Osborne, sent a message to President Eisenhower saying, "Polaris from out of the deep to target. Perfect." And about 2 hours later, she repeated it, proving the concept without a doubt that the submarine could launch a ballistic missile submerged. She then returns to Cape Canaveral and they swap out crews. So it was the blue crew that did that. They had the gold crew on because the entire Fleet Ballistic Missile Program relied upon a 2-crew swap. So one crew would be out on patrol, the other crew would be back doing training, and then when they come back, the crews join up for a little bit, do a quick refit period, and then the next crew takes it back out on patrol. So the gold crew had to prove the exact same thing. And on July 30th, 10 days later, the gold crew did their 2 successful missile firings, proving the missile, the submarine, and the crew rotation concept all at the same time. The gold crew then kept the boat until August 30th, continuing shakedown, returned to Groton, Connecticut, and about 2 months after that, they actually go down to Charleston, South Carolina to load out 16 Polaris missiles at the weapon station there and commence their first Strategic Deterrence patrol, where they were submerged for 66 days and then returned to Groton, Connecticut on January 21st, 1961. After a return to Groton, they actually home port shift. They transferred to Holyloch, Scotland, where she spent the next few years. She did 15 strategic deterrence patrols while there and steamed more than 100,000 nautical miles. And then when she returned to Groton, Connecticut, they had those missiles on the side that you see there, 15 missiles painted on the hull, on the sail, signifying her 15 successful deterrent patrols. After the refit and upkeep period that she went through, she then transferred to the Pacific Fleet, continued on operations there for about another 20 years. And then in January 24th, 1985, she was decommissioned and scrapped, and we saved the sail and put it here at the Submarine Force Museum in Groton, Connecticut. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. But with that, thanks for coming along. Bye.